Okay, it's been a little bit of a, it's been a little bit of quite some time since I've sat down to watch this movie. But I didn't know what else to do, so I figured I'd turn it on and just watch it. And sure enough, oh boy, where do I begin? So, before David Lynch went on to do movies like The Elephant Man and Blue Velvet, just names some of them, along with success like Twin Peaks and some other various television projects, one of his biggest directorial debuts was this movie right here. Now, finding the right words to even describe this movie, I mean, I'm going to try the best way I can to even give you all a review from my own mentality and whatever notes I have to at least even describe Eraserhead, except the movie itself is just very fucking bizarre and strange. And for someone like David Lynch to make something like this showcases some pretty unique things that's going on with taking elements of emotions and feelings that you would get from unsettlement and just putting it into a perspective where that was like the whole entire vibe throughout the movie itself. But to even describe the story for what's transpiring, um, so like I mean it's weird, it's strange, but there's a gentleman named Henry Spencer and his lover Mary X, and I wonder if the last name X ended up giving some sort of inspiration for any Resident Evil characters. But going on, Henry Spencer and his lover Mary X ended up having a infant that turns out to be a very weird alien specimen type creature. Unfortunately, this alien baby did not get up, grab a top hat or cane, and start singing "Hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my ragtime girl," the Michigan J. Frog type routine. That did not happen in this movie, but this alien creature, unfortunately, well, he's just there. He's just laying there, fucking cooing and making all these fucking just weird noises and such. But Henry has to deal with the troubles of fatherhood. Keep that in mind. Fatherhood, love, and his own mentality. Dealing with his lover, the family, and the baby. Keep that in mind. But that's the best way I can describe of the whole movie, like what's going on. It's very bizarre, weird, and there isn't much for me to like say story wise, but except that it's more of an atmospheric type thing where it's very unsettling, it's uncomfortable, it's bizarre and just fucking strange. But I see that's the intention because for the time frame that this movie took place, and I think it was 1977. Now, this type of feeling and atmosphere for any sort of film in general, if it's like psychological horror or sci-fi or whatever you want to like put this movie under, like any sort of genre. But this movie to me was like kind of a bit of a turning point where you can take the mood and feelings of unsettlement and being uncomfortable and just making your nerves shake and giving you goosebumps all over the most not so pleasant manner. I mean, this movie was able to really do that. And for me, I mean, when I first saw this movie, like, I mean, I've seen the movie a few times, but I didn't really think much of it. I was just thinking exactly what the fuck is going on. But rewatching it, especially with the volume turned up all the way and seeing what the events of what's going on, but it's mostly the noises and ambiance that's going on. Because the thing is, there ain't much of a musical score. Where usually when you hear horror films or sci-fi, there's always like a fucking horror score that's playing in the background to create tension. But in this instinct, there isn't hardly much of any of that in this film. It's all noises and sounds and just distance. Like, you'll hear fucking nuclear power plants going in. You'll hear train engines. You'll hear just fucking steam powering up. You'll hear carousel music. Very disturbing, haunting singing in the background. Like, it's all a bunch of noises and sounds where it creates that tension that you are wanting to feel in this movie, especially for Henry himself or what's going on with him. Like, there was just a lot of confusion going on with his character. Not very much dialogue to talk about with him, but with his mentality alone of what was going on with the family, fucking trying to cut up and carve a chicken dinner that ended up spewing out a little more barbecue sauce than what intentionally needed to be, to where the fucking mother was having an orgasm of some sort or flirting with him, and then it just goes all batshit crazy. Like, while he's in his bedroom trying to sleep with his woman, once they picked up this little fucking this thing that they have, like, while it's making all this noise and everything. I mean, the practical effects itself goes a long way as well, which I'll get to momentarily. But the thing is that it's going from his perspective, not in a point of view, but where you see the cameras just going all crazy, bad shit all over, where it's just adding more and more tension for what's going on up here in his fucking head, and how he's feeling internally. Like, he's confused, he don't know what's going on, like, he's trying to fucking sleep, and then all of a sudden he's in this dream where he sees this fucking woman who had this, I'm guessing this woman had this bad botched plastic surgery. Now his biscuits growing on the side of her fucking face, bust a can of goddamn biscuits all over, whatever. And for her looking like a goddamn, well, you know, shit like that or whatever the fuck it is, puffy face there. It's interesting with how she plays off and how she's affecting his mindset, along with this fucking other dude who's sitting in a jail cell who's got like a bad infection going on. He's playing with like a fucking, he's either like, he's doing something. I don't know what he was doing, but he was doing something with whatever the fuck it was. He was laughing and popping zits and bullshit. But the thing is, the movie itself really goes within creating, like I said, the atmospheric tension that you get, the ambient noises, the story itself not really having any sort of, like, big impact, but it's mostly focusing on just visuals, at least for a good portion, where you want to create the entire tension of, like I said, of all the moods there, and seeing all this bizarre shit going on, trying to put it all into place and understand everything, like, what the fuck does all this mean? But sure enough, you understand the perspective of fatherhood, the scary factors of that, if it goes wrong, relationships, how that one goes wrong, if it's having an affair, or if it's just being with the person you know and wanting to, you know, get intimate or anything, the scary factors of that. But it's taking, like, different meanings and just putting it to, like, a very deranged horror, sci-fi, psychological, just some sort of fucking creepy ass, like, uncomforting tension. Like, that's the best way I can just say about all this, is that's what this movie is. It's just fucking uneasy feelings. But the practical effects in this film is, a lot of it gets a little too obvious at times, especially where you see his head and you see the fucking kid burping up goo-goo and all the other stuff, and fucking, obviously the makeup effects on the lady with everything now is obvious. I mean, whatever bullshit, they use like wax or something to create that, fucking bongos on her face and all that stuff, but also the fucking shit spewing out of the chicken and everything, and dancing and all that stuff. I mean, the practical effects was pretty unique and added some, like I said, added the unsettlement of what was happening in this film. But it does get a little obvious at times, and also it goes back and forth where he's in a time loop where he's stuck in this dream, and he wakes up and he's in his room and he's got all this bullshit going on. I'm starting to wonder, since he does live near a nuclear facility, I wonder if they were, you know, doing something by the power plant that he lives by, and all the fumes, whatever shit's going on, just cause him to have these psychological delusions. Maybe, but that's just a theory of my own of what I'm saying, is that all this shit that's going on is just causing him to have these illusions and crazy shit that's happening in his mind and all this other crap that's happening to him. Being in one place, fucking kissing with a woman in a bathtub where they start melting, or the kid just goes, or, well, not really kid, it's a fucking extraterrestrial specimen that starts acting up and everything and whatnot. But yeah, then, the beginning, the end, the beginning, middle, end, and all the different acts in this film, there's really no particular plot point except the ending shot, where obviously the infamous scene where he shows his fucking facial reactions, where it just sums up that he's probably in a much better place now towards the end or whatever, being away from all this bullshit that's happening. But overall, to sum up about Eraserhead, for this being David Lynch's directorial debut before he went on to make the undisputed masterful film, The Elephant Man, This movie itself, like I said, it was unsettling. It was uncomfortable. It makes you nervous. There's a lot of tension that within the ambient noises. Not much dialogue is given. It shows a different bunch of different personalities that played into Henry Spencer's life, whether it was his past or present or future to hold. The unfortunate mental convolutions and indictments of having a child, like the way it was in the film, turns out it being exactly what it looks like, trying to get to be with your family, trying to have your relationship with a woman who is very emotional. So, Eraserhead was a movie where I honestly gave it like a 3.25 out of 5 to. Now, the movie itself, like I said, it's a very interesting watch. It's very unsettling, but for me, it's one of those movies to where I'll probably watch it every once in a blue moon, or probably not watch it on playback at all. And just I've seen it, I'm talking about it, and is it a good movie? I mean, it's like I said, I can't say good or bad, but right there, it's in the middle for me in terms of like right here, because the movie did pave the way of creating films for having such tension like that, where you can take different various stories and build something like that. Is this a very artsy film in my humble perspective? Kind of is, but it's one of those rare artsy films where I can let pass and really honestly understand what's going on, because it's very bizarre. But with that being said, folks, that's going to do it for my little talk on this movie for you all. And if you've seen it, let me know down below your thoughts. And ciao for now.